With home prices setting records these days, access to affordable housing is a major topic of discussion across the country, especially in major cities and metro areas.
And that includes right here in Lexington, and it's been a frequent topic of discussion in Frankfort as well. WKYT's Jessica Umbro has more on some of the ideas being proposed in Frankfort as we get closer to the next legislative session.
It's my firm belief that access to opportunity for Kentuckians starts with an affordable and safe place to live.
Representatives of Winterwood Inc., Commerce Lexington, and Lexington Habitat for Humanity presented to the Commission on Race and Access to Opportunity about addressing unique housing challenges in Lexington. State policy recommendations included supporting local banks through collaborative investment funds, to partner private investments with public funding for building affordable housing for a variety of need levels.
One piece you can't fix, you can have all of these other pieces in place, but that rise in home prices and lack of inventory are squeezing us.
Another focus of the meeting was hearing about barriers to home ownership and what state lawmakers can do in helping to remove those barriers.
While housing is a national issue, land use, development policies in Lexington, they really have impacted the market locally.
Lawmakers on the committee stressed the need for further discussion on the topic and using collaboration between public and private resources to develop solutions.
We're talking about economic prosperity is tied to home ownership. My grandpa used to always say, brick and mortar, buy brick and mortar.
If you don't purposefully and intentionally collaborate, use the word collaboration, to address this issue, does it not contribute to the concentration of poverty?
In Frankfort, Jessica Umbro, WKYT.